Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's recording now.
Cameron, say your line.
Hey guys. Hey guys, I'm the one they call Cam.
I'm the one that they do not call Cam. I'm Jarrad.
And welcome to the first episode of the
Pain.
I have a whole...
Oh, you have a whole mantra to say. Sorry.
Not really. I want it to be good. Now I have to hook it up on my phone because I forgot what it's mostly pain.
It's mostly pain.
This
is the Mostly Pain podcast.
It's the Mostly Pain podcast.
Is it the Mostly Pain podcast or is it just the Pain podcast?
It's on the thing that I created. It says Mostly Pain, and that's what people are reading when they get Mostly Pain. What's this about?
Well, is the name out there yet?
No, not yet. I wanted to be like a
well, it can be
surprise.
the decent amount, but not too much pain podcast.
It kind of hurt, but I think I'll be okay. Let me just sit down for a few minutes. Podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so where's the fire ants?
What? Oh God, no. What happened? So this podcast, for those of you who don't know, which should be everyone, as I've only told like 3 people, this podcast is about pain. Currently, it's about all types of pain. Really, only like physical and mental. Mostly mental pain, but we will have guests in the future. This is just the
like
first.
Me.
Yeah. Well, no, Jarrad, you're part of. You're
I
a co-host.
am honored to be a co-host of the Pain podcast.
Welcome, I guess. I don't know.
I could say welcome to you too, since I have that power as well.
Yeah, you could, as you're a co-host.
I am a co-host.
I guessed.
You
forgot what I was gonna say.
You were talking about what it is.
Yeah, God, the pain. Okay, so I had a party this summer. We're both in high school. Won't say which high school, but we're both in high school. We're both seniors. And for this past summer, I had a party, and I was like, I did Molly. That's just what it is. Like, don't judge me. That's just what I did.
Big facts.
I did Molly, and after the initial trip, and that was amazing. Totally recommend it. Try not to get addicted, though. It was awesome. I talked to Jarrad and our friend Galila for 3 hours straight. Like, just didn't stop talking, and we talked about a lot of stuff. And I was thinking, and I was like, yo, there's a lot of pain in this world. All types of pain when it comes to breakups, when it comes to rape, when it comes to physical abuse, when it comes to abandonment problems, when it comes to all type. Jarrad's reminding me.
Yeah, I just like had to motion to him to actually speak into the microphone and not his right leg.
I'm just like, okay, so I have ADHD. We'll get into that, but I'm really handsy and I move a lot, so it's hard to kind of speak into one specific spot of the room in my basement. But anyway, I'm at this party. I'm realizing that there's a lot of pain in the world. And I'm like, I can't fix or help or be the cure for all pain, but I do know a lot of friends who have had some really serious pain that a lot of people can relate to and feel for. So I thought maybe if we talked about it on a podcast, it would kind of help people who don't have someone to talk to, who feel kind of alone. So that's what the purpose of this podcast is. And this first episode... excuse me. It's just
people are gonna love that.
They're gonna. Oh, my ears! They're just gonna feel it. This first episode is just an introduction. It's gonna be hopefully around 30, 45 minutes about our pain, me and Jarrad's, and that's probably about it. And then the next, I hope 9 episodes, because I want it to be a 10-episode season/series, whatever. Will be with different guests and their different things.
Seasons?
Well, I wanted to do 10 episodes, and then. We'll see where it goes from there. See if people are like, oh, I need more pain, and then I'll figure out.
Pain, please.
Please. And then I'll figure out who else might want to be on the podcast and talk about their pain.
It's going to be painful to listen to. Am I right?
I hope so. I certainly
You want
hope
this
so.
to be painful for people to listen to?
Yeah, I want it to be painful. I want there to be tears. Like I want it to be dramatic.
We should put like a 30 decibel screeching in the background.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's just the sound of chalkboard. Like someone's scratching a chalkboard in the background.
Oh yeah, we actually ordered one of those for this room specifically.
Yeah, so we could do that.
Yeah, so the guest has to do it. We actually have their arm tied to a rope. We have to scratch it the whole time, or else we won't let them loose.
We won't let them leave. So I guess it's hot. Are you hot?
I'm super hot, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have a fan, but we don't want to mess up the audio.
We have fans
so
already?
No, I mean I hope so. I know some people who definitely want me to bring back podcasts.
Hi fans, thank you for being a fan of me.
Yeah, thanks guys. For anyone who's actually listening, legitimately, thanks
guys.
for listening. I hope I promoted it well, and you're like, oh, this is good, and you're not like, this is stupid. We're gonna get into some serious stuff. We're just trying to figure it out. It's kind of spontaneous as we're doing this.
So, I feel like not many people know me in comparison to you do, because I used to go to blank high school.
The high school that I go to. Everyone who goes to my high school, he also went to that high school.
You know a lot more people than I do, I
do.
would say. And a lot more people know you. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm Jarrad.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go there in ninth and 10th grade. I was friends with a couple people, but pretty quiet for the most part. But I met Cam when he moved in here, or
Boom.
to here, which is actually like 2 years ago.
2 years
Time
ago
flies
from
by.
Texas. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'm
We-
just some dude that stays at home, does homeschool, goes to work, and
But he's into film and audio and music and
yeah.
stuff, just like me. So we linked up and we'll work with
Yes,
each other while we got the
sir.
opportunity, and we'll tell you guys some stuff about some more content we're creating later on in the episode, probably at the end. But for right now, I guess Jarrad, do you want to talk about your pain first, or do you want me to go
I
first?
could talk about a pain that I mean.
Any
You go.
kind of-
You go first. You go.
Me
first.
go first?
Yeah,
Okay,
you go
give you an
first.
example. So, do you want to go back and forth, or you want me to just share all? My pain.
You
don't
can
know.
share your pain,
Okay, yeah,
and then if I want to interject and like debunk you, then I can do that.
yeah, okay, yeah. No, I figured.
I'm not gonna debunk you, Cam. But
No, it's cool. I want to. I want to get into it and like I want to kind of make it like almost therapy. It's like psychological. I want to get into the reasons I feel this way.
Cam, your opinions are wrong.
I know I'm trash. Let's see, pain. Let's see. We could talk about the fact that I grew up with ADHD. Let's do that because I mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
I know a lot of people relate to this. So, and big thing I want to say. Huge thing I want to say before we even continue even a little bit. I have no idea what the fuck I am talking about,
Yeah,
okay?
me neither.
We aren't psychologists. I didn't even take a psychology class in high school. I really wanted to, but I couldn't because I had an internship thing to do. We don't know what we're talking about. So anything we say about depression, anxiety, rape, this, that, and the other is simply based on what I know of the world right now. So if you are going through or have been through that and we say something that's wrong or kind of offensive, we apologize. Going to apologize for the entire series because I don't want to have to keep doing it because I think it's annoying. And we're literally, the intention for this podcast is good. It's all good. I literally just want to help people not feel as alone as they are.
Yes.
So there you go. Disclaimer. Boom. Don't know what we're talking
I
about.
think we should put like a giant beat, like a loud beeping noise before we say something offensive.
Thanks. I mean, I don't plan on saying anything offensive, though.
Yeah, I know.
I hate blacks. My pain is there are too many minorities in America. I'm
go.
black. Yo, wait, I just want to say that. I feel like I don't sound black enough. For anyone who doesn't know me, I am black, so I can kind of say that. Anyway, ADHD. So I grew up with ADHD. I found out when I was young, like most people, I had like severe ADHD. I couldn't focus. I'm speaking into the mic.
You're speaking. You're speaking to the wall.
Oh, it's
picking up the.
bouncing back.
Yeah, that's the problem, Cam.
I grew up with severe ADHD, so it was a struggle for a long time. I failed third grade because of it. I just was reading at a first grade level, which is ironic because right now I'm striving to be a writer and I've written a lot and I'm actually really good. So I guess that was a pretty big pain because ADHD is not only just like hyperactive attention deficit, so it's hard to focus and everything was boring. I was also really weird. That's personality thing, but I was really, really weird. And so I was bullied and kind of made fun of, and I was like the class clown, which was cool to some people, but I was also like just a weird idiot to others. And it was hard growing up because ADHD does make you impulsive and it does make it kind of harder to read people and situations. So I've said and done things that I I kind of regret, that I just wouldn't do now because as you grow up, ADHD it just kind of mellows out. There's a lot of actors with ADHD like Jim Carrey and what's his name, Will Smith, but they have mellowed out. But you can still see it in the way that they talk. It comes out in everything. It comes out in the way that I talk. It comes out in the way that I do things. It comes out in everything. And this senior year is the first year that in the first week, because we just started school, that I haven't needed to take my pill. Like usually I'll start the first day and then I just can't focus. Like I'm like, this is so boring. The bad thing though about the pill that I take or the different types of pills is that many people discover that they don't feel like themselves on the pill. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I describe my energy on it when I'm not taking the pill as like a reactor. You know what I mean? It's just constantly making energy. I'm constantly up all the time. And when I take the pill, it feels like someone turns the reactor off and it doesn't feel like me, which really, really sucked. Especially when I'm young because it was new. I didn't expect it, so that sucked a lot. As I get older, I can expect it when I take it, so it's not as bad, but it still definitely sucks, and it still definitely brings up a lot of bad, negative thoughts, like, oh gosh, because people come up to me, Cam, what's wrong, man? You're really quiet, are you okay? Oh my gosh. And, if I'm ever quiet, please don't ask me, like, oh my gosh, you okay? Like, a good friend be like, hey, you good? If I say I'm good, That's it. Don't be like, oh my god, he's so quiet. That's the most annoying thing growing up when I did that. Because when I first started taking it, people were like, whoa, Cam's really quiet. And they come up to me like, are you okay? That's so annoying. I'm fine. Because I'm already having a bad day because I don't feel like myself and I want to talk and make jokes, but I don't have the energy, nor do I feel like it. And it sucks. So if you ever know anybody with ADHD and they're like on the pill and they're not talking, they're okay. It's just kind of how medication affects the brain. And it sucks. So that's the ADHD part, which is probably the least of my problems, is that will be something I'll have for the rest of my life. That's probably the least of pain. Oh, I also want to say that in this podcast, if you're going through like severe depression and you want to kill yourself, if you're like, how dare these guys come on here with a pain podcast talking about ADHD like it's bad, I'm not saying that my ADHD is as bad as your severe depression. And I'm not saying that your severe depression is worse than my ADHD. Your broken arm might be my broken arm might be my broken arm might be your stub toe. You know what I mean? Just because I fucking have girl problems and your dad hits you, I'm not trying to make fun of that, but just because that happens doesn't mean I don't have a right, or my feelings towards the girl or the problems that I'm having aren't valid, if that makes any sense. So I just want to say that there. That's about it. So that's probably my least of my pain. What about? Well, I'll switch it over to you, Jarrad. Now, I mean, do you want to debunk anything, or you want to go down to like the least of your pain, and we'll go up from there?
Okay, so, well, I don't know, cause like right now, I have a pain thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a matter of switching mindsets. Like every couple of months, it's like one set of months I want to like pursue my career that I have built up right now as a chef, and just focus on that. Sometimes I want to focus on music, and sometimes I just want to focus on like entertainment like this or our upcoming podcast. And then I don't know, sometimes I just don't want to do anything at all. And I think that's like not really a huge problem to some people, but for me it sucks because I want to, like, I'm pretty ambitious, I want to do all these things, but I can't really focus on it.
Yeah, you have like too much to do, so it's like you can't focus on one thing.
But I would say it's not really a problem now because recently, like within the last month, I've managed to talk to the people at work and work something out. As far as my schedule goes, I make time for music. I make at least like 2 songs a day now.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Just sitting there focusing. My school is going super well. I put time and effort into that now every single day. And then, this podcast and stuff, which I have like a whole 6 months schedule planned out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's good. Like,
I also have a lot, actually, thinking about it. I got the short film doing now. I'm writing that. I got this podcast. I got the other podcast, which we'll announce later. Well, I'll let you announce it because it's more your podcast than mine.
yeah, all right.
I mean, it is, right?
Yeah.
It was your idea.
Yeah, but, I feel like it's kind of all of our thing. But, yes, I will be making the announcement, but I will be announcing it for the group, on behalf of the group, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, we got a lot going on. So, you guys got a lot going on. But I get that feeling of, like, oh, there's so much I want to do that's, like, not school, not chores, not family, that, like, I want to do it, but I can't figure out, you know what I mean? I get that feeling. I think as you get older and you start focusing more and you just grow and mature, that becomes a lot easier. I totally get that feeling.
Yeah, because you start to get better at organizing things and making time for people, what people you don't want to make time for. Like, for me, a lot of the time I wanted to please everybody. I wanted everybody to look up to me and say, wow, I'm glad he's doing this, and, whatever. But then I realized that I don't have to do that, and I have to appeal to not only an audience, but my, like, peers and my family, like, appeal to those, not just, like, a huge audience of different people. I just want to do what I do, and I know for a fact that the people that love me and, actuality in real life, they're going to like what I do.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
And that's important to me because that helps me organize things and figure out what's important, what's not important, get, like I said, the podcasts ready and my music ready. I know for a fact that people who associate with me will agree that, that's a good thing for me to do because that fits what I want to do.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't know. That's it. It feels weird to be like moving on. Like, how do you segue from that? Because it's like back to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's fine.
I guess go back to my next level of pain recently or whatever. I would say the next biggest pain that I've had, besides ADHD, would probably be my last girl that I talked to, because we never dated, but we talked for a while, you know what I mean? So it's like, I want to say X person thing, kind of, but that's a lot longer than just saying X. So for the purposes of the podcast, I'm just going to say X or X person, but we didn't date. I just want to say that because some people are like, you guys didn't date. And I'm like, I know we didn't date, but like saying the last girl I talked to was so much longer than just saying X. Anyway, so let me try to think. I'll give you the full quick story. So I'm on Instagram last year. Yeah, I'm on Instagram last year. A friend of mine posted a picture of Hoko pictures. I'm like, dang. Who's that girl in the background? She's like, oh, that's my friend blank. I'm not going to say their name, for obvious reasons. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, do you think she'd be interested in talk? Like, is she open to a relationship right now or meeting new people? And she's like, oh, she got through a really bad breakup, so probably not right now. So I'm like, okay. I give it almost like 6 months. And I end up falling in love with some other girl that I don't feel like talking about. Some other girl, and we, break it off or whatever. And I decide, fuck it, I'm just going to hit this girl up. So I text her. She texts back within 10 minutes, and we're talking. It's like, yo, she's pretty cool. I get the number. We're talking for a week, and we FaceTime. You guys, all the teens know how it goes. You FaceTime, you do this and that. You get all excited. You get the butterflies. And for the first time I think I can ever really remember, I liked a girl that I thought understood me. Does that make sense? I don't feel very understood by a lot of people.
Yeah, someone that you resonate with more than
a lot,
the previous people you've talked to.
Exactly, and it's like you got your friends, they understand you in a way, and you got your family, and they understand you in a way, but it feels like when you have friends and family that understand you, it feels like they understand one or two pieces of you. You know what I mean? They don't understand the whole, like you are painting, you're like a sculpture, and they're looking at the foot. You know what I mean? Or the leg, or the corner of the painting. Does that make sense? And they get that, but they're not looking at the whole picture just because they can't. Does that make sense? Because you just can't show them all that. With this past girl, it felt like she saw the whole painting. She saw the whole sculpture, and I saw her whole sculpture. Does that make sense? And it was really cool because I hadn't been excited about a girl this much ever. And I feel really weak saying this, and we'll talk about weakness and masculinity and this, that, and the other, but I do feel weak. I got really excited. I really liked her. I wouldn't say that I loved her or I was in love with. Well, I think loves are two different things. I think there's in love, which is a feeling, and that could happen in moments. That's just a chemical. And then I think there's love. It is a chemical.
It is a chemical, yeah.
It's a biological chemical, and that's why I don't think in love is as big a deal as love, because love is an action. You know what I mean? I love my brother. I love my mom. They love me because if they called me and were like, Cam, I need you to drive from wherever you are right now to come get me or something like that, I would do it in a moment's notice. That makes sense?
Yes.
There's a lot of people I wouldn't do that for. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I don't really care. Does that make sense? And there's people who wouldn't do that for me, and that's okay. I'm not saying that I was in love with this girl. I would say that I had love for this girl. I would do things. Right. I don't know. If she asked me to drive to, New York or something, I'm not going to do anything crazy that's going to change my life for her at the time. But I did definitely have really strong feelings for this girl, and I thought that she had strong feelings for me. And it definitely seemed like that. Let's see, the first time we met, I'm a super big romantic, guys. I'm super big. First time we met, she tells me her favorite candle, so I bring it to the coffee shop we go to, and I'm like, hey, dude, I got a girl coming in 30 minutes. Do you mind if I light the candle so that the place smells like it? And they're like, dude, you're so cute. Sure. And they give me a lighter, and I light it, and she's like, oh my God, no way. And so I meet her, and I'm like, yeah, I got the candle here. I give it to her. We're talking or whatever. She's smiling. I'm happy. And it's all good. And then a few weeks later, we kiss for the first time. And that feeling in movies, and it's usually teenage girl movies where they're like, and then we kissed, and the freaking doves flew out from behind me, and everything was amazing. It's stupid, but I got that feeling. You know what I mean? It's really dumb, but I totally got that feeling. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I care about you so much. This is awesome.
Wait, hold on. So can I ask a question? You guys kissed, but it wasn't an established relationship?
No.
And you bought her a candle, and it wasn't an established relationship?
No, I'm a big romantic, dude.
Okay. I
mean, that's...
that.
We were talking at the time.
It
was...
Yeah, I got you.
And I totally get where you're going with that, and I do agree that I probably put in a little too much when I didn't need to. She did not put in... We'll talk about it much. I'm just naturally a big romantic, so I'm like, a candle is something cute. You know what I mean? The first time I'm meeting you, the first time we go on our little first date, I'm like, yeah, bringing a candle to a coffee shop, that's cute. That doesn't seem like too much. It wasn't a huge, super expensive candle. It was $10. Does that make sense? So there's that, and I actually didn't even buy it. I asked my mom to, because she was already going to get candles because she really likes candles, and I was like, hey, can you pick up this one? She was like, sure. So we kiss. And it's like amazing, and we're texting, and she's like, oh my gosh, like I really like you, I'm really happy. And so we keep talking for a while, and she had broken up with her boyfriend of, what was it, like 3 years before me?
Jeez,
a couple
Louise,
months
yeah,
before.
that's a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. Like, she thought they were going to get married. She thought this and that. Like, he came in a really dark time in her life, so he kind of, quote-unquote, saved her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I got. We talked about it, and I was like, you know, my fear is that I'm a rebound. My fear is that, you know, you do care about me, but you're just trying to distract yourself from the real pain that's going on. And she was like, no, you know, I've already talked to a few guys and nothing's like you. And I'm like, all right, you know, I'll go against my better instincts and decide to push forward in this relationship. Bad idea, because I remember she went, I don't remember when it was. It was like winter break or something. She went on this like 2-week long trip. She comes back and I'm like, you know what, I haven't seen you in a while. Let me take you out. Let's go on like a nice fancy dinner. Let me take you on an official date. She's like, okay. Right. So we go on a date to the movies. And she's like, I just want to leave. And I'm like, okay, cool. It was a good movie, too. Like, you don't understand.
What'd you see?
We went to go see Creed. Creed 2, actually. And then we were supposed to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse after that.
Dude, that
Both
movie rocks.
Great movies. But we'll make a movie podcast later. Totally not the point of this one. No, it's cool. It's cool. Good movies. I do recommend them. So we're in the middle of the movie. She's like, I want to leave. I'm hungry. And I'm like, I've never really left a movie before, like in the middle of the movie, especially because I paid for the tickets. But it's cool. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's not a big deal. If you really want to leave, we can leave. So we leave, and we go to get food. We go to this, what was it, Ethiopian place that she wanted to try. And I'm like, I don't really want to eat Ethiopian food. So we go to an Indian place. I've never tried Indian food, so I was like, all right, let me try it. We tried it. It wasn't good. And it's just the energy was different, and I knew why. You know what I mean? I had an inkling for it for a while. So we go back to my place, and I'm like, you know, what's wrong? She's like, I don't know. I just feel off today, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I go in for the last kiss. I knew it was the last kiss. You know what I mean? I don't think she knew, but I knew. So I go in and I just kiss her on the cheek, and I'm like, you know, thank you. Fuck! I gotta cut that. God damn it! Fuck.
There's no. Wait. How do we know if you didn't already say the name before?
I didn't.
You did. Okay.
I for sure didn't. I just said, this is the first time I said it, so we'll have to cut that out.
Just put a beep
we'll
over it.
just put a beep over it.
Funny.
Whatever. Damn it.
Yeah, we'll
that
put
was
a
funny.
name over it.
And we just put a name over it. I'll see you later, Michaela. It's clearly our voice dubbed over it. Anyway, I say bye. We don't talk for a day. For those of you in a relationship or talking to someone, you know that what it's like to have gone to talking to them almost 24/7 to not talking to them at all for a day. It's like, oh my God, you know, my life feels half incomplete. So the next day I try to call her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She, you know, I don't want to talk. And then it's like, hey, we need to talk. She sends me that text, and I'm like, fuck, this is it. Like, she's about to end it. That sucks. I kind of already thought so. She starts sending me paragraphs. You guys know what it's like when you break up. I'm just, and it's like, I read the first paragraph, and I'm like, stop. You don't need to continue. I understand. You just got out of a big relationship. I was a rebound. That sucks, but it's cool. She's like, I literally say, it's cool, we're good. She decides to text the 15 other paragraphs anyway, and I'm like, you know what? Let me read one. Like, let me try to make sure I understand everything. The first sentence I read is, when we kiss, I feel nothing. Whew.
That's a bro moment.
Yeah, dude. That hurt so fucking bad, because I'm like, this is the girl in my head that I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, I've met like the one. And I know you guys are like, yo, you talked to her for like a month, relax. You guys know when you meet someone you really like, I know everyone does this, and if you say you don't, you're lying. When you first meet someone you like, you imagine your entire life with them. You don't actually think it'll be that way, but you've liked someone, right, Jarrad?
I don't know many people, but yes, I have.
You've liked someone.
Yes.
You've really liked someone. Tell me you weren't like, you know, like you imagined it. Like, you didn't think it was going to happen. You're like, I know this is going to happen, but let me just... You didn't?
No, I didn't. No. Let me rephrase what I'm saying. It's like, I didn't imagine, like, marriage and having kids or anything, because that's not, like, what I picture in a relationship personally. Like, I don't care about marriage. That's a legal document, and kids are going to die out because of global warming anyways. Okay. So, no, I was just like, oh, yeah, it'd be cool, you know, just going out to eat and seeing the other person, and, like, not really just, like, being in a relationship and being, oh, yeah, you're my girlfriend, whatever. It's more like having someone who's there for you and you can just be with. You know, that's more so what I thought about it. And, like, I thought about, oh, it'd be cool in the future, like, go somewhere with this person, you know, see something with this person, you know, meet people with this person.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I totally get that, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm saying. And I know for people who understand, you do understand. That's like when you meet someone you really like, you're like, God, I hope this lasts.
You think
know?
about the possibilities.
Exactly. You're like, what if it's unlikely? You know what I mean? Because I'm not stupid. I'm rational. I'm like, it's unlikely that we'll last more than a couple months because she was going off to college anyway.
Yeah.
But it was like, what if somehow we beat the odds and like, you know, we get through these years of college apart and we meet back up and we lived, you know what I mean? There are stories like that. Not many, but there are. And I know for a fact all of you have like someone think about it that way. So that was the first time that I'd actually thought that. The other girls, I'd never thought that before because I was like, I don't really like you all that much. Like, I like you, it's cool, but I don't really like you all that much. This girl I did. So when she said that, it was absolutely devastating. I shed one thug tear. I literally sat there on my bed one tear out of my right eye came out. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to cry over her. I'm going to wipe that off. So that sucked. We didn't talk for a long time. And I find out from another friend that she decided to call me creepy and perverted, which I'm not disagreeing. I mean, for those of you who know me, hold on. Not like I'm like creepy and perverted in that, aw, Cam, you pervert. Not like, oh, dude, like, get away from me. It's not that type. Does that make sense?
She made it that way.
Exactly.
It made you look bad.
Yeah, and she was that person because I understood her, at least I thought I understood her, and I thought she understood me. She got that, like, Cam, you pervert, you know what I mean? Because she was like that, too. She said things that were gross and dark and messed up, and she did things that were gross and dark and messed up, just like how I did in my past. We told stories, and I'm like, yo, how are you gonna go after I accepted all that? You know what I mean? Dealt with being a rebound, had no hard feelings, didn't talk shit, and you're gonna go out and tell my, you know what I mean? Tell my stories
and worse
and make it
no
worse than it is.
reason.
When I'm like, yo, the stories you told me were kind of worse than the stories I told you. You know what I mean? I'm like, you crossed a line. I never crossed that line. Does that make sense? And so that pissed me off for a really, really long time, and I was really sensitive to the word creepy. Like, people would be like, oh, you're so creepy, and I would get mad. I would get, like, visibly angry because I'd be like, I'm not fucking creepy. Like, don't call me creepy. And that's definitely off character for me because I'm not someone who really cares about what you call me. Like, I guess if you call me the N-word, that would be a problem. But other than that, I don't really care because I'm just, like, not that type of person. So I was really, really mad. I, like, unadded her, blocked her on everything. And then one day, I remember, like, past couple weeks, I was like, this summer, I was thinking about her a lot. I don't know why. I hadn't thought about her for months, and I was thinking about her a lot. And I was like, I'm tired of being angry. You know, I'm tired of being angry about something I don't even really care about anymore. I'm tired of resenting her. I'm tired of doing this. Like, I really don't care anymore. I'm talking to... I keep burping. I'm sorry.
You see how... Look, okay.
I'm talking to the mic.
Sorry, I'm interjecting because Cam doesn't want to look at the microphone when he speaks. For the past, 8 minutes, I've been staring at the microphone.
Okay, I'll try to look at the wall in front of the microphone. It's just hard. There's a lot of interesting things.
I've been admiring the BPM on your computer ticking.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just look at the... I'll freaking look at the time go by as I talk. But anyway, that was hurtful, and I was like, I don't want to be mad anymore, so I added her back, and I was like, cool, I had this party going, I was like, you know what, hey, she added me back after I added her back,
right,
and I was like, all right, well, she clearly doesn't hate me, you know what I mean, I can't imagine she's disgusted by me, so I was like, hey, why don't you and your friend, you know, one of her best friends I met at the time, why don't you guys come to my party, it'd be really cool, so, you know, she's like, maybe, or whatever, and she comes to the party, it's been a while, my friend, the story's really weird, right, because I'm like, there's no way she's coming. But I'm, like, kind of high and drunk. I'm walking around the party. Oh, how's it going? Having a good time? And my friend comes up like, dude, she's here. No, he didn't say. He was like, oh, yeah, he did say that. You were there at the party, I remember. No, he's like, dude, she's here. And I'm like, I'm like, hi. So I'm like, who, the cops? Like, the person's mom is here at the house? What are you talking about? He's like, dude, your kryptonite is here. Because for the past couple months, I've been like, don't talk about her. I don't want to talk about her. It just pisses me off. And I'm like, nah, dude, you're messing with me, man. You're messing with me. So I go upstairs. And my friend comes from up, because we're in the basement, my friend comes from upstairs, I was like, oh, Cam, I found you. Don't freak out, but she's here. And I'm like, okay, now I kind of believe you. And then my other friend is laughing at me like, ha ha ha, she's here. So I'm like, nah, maybe it's a joke. My friends are assholes, and they just want to get me when I'm high. And so and then it's at that moment, I'm like, no way. I turn to look down the stairs. It's so dramatic. Like, the memory of it's so weird. I turn to look down the stairs, and there she is. And it's going to sound so cheesy, but I'm a romantic, so I don't care. And she's looking so fucking fine, man. She was just... And her hair was did, and the makeup. And I was like, damn! You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. Right?
I don't know what she looks like. I never even saw her.
No, you never saw... But I'm saying with a girl that you think is like, damn, she's fine. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
You do? Okay. Well,
Sorry, Cam.
it's cool. I get
I'm
it.
not
I know.
romantic at all.
I get it. I know there are people out there who do get what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
she was just looking good. And I was like, all right, she looks good. Whatever. So I go downstairs, I meet her friends, and she's last, and I'm like, blank, blank. Because I don't want to say her name. I'm like, blank, blank. There's too much to say, so let's not say anything. And I go in for a hug. And this is where the pain of recent comes up, is that I look her in her eyes, and I can see that not only, one, does she not care about me anymore, which sucks, but, like, it's kind of expected. I see resentment. Does it make sense? Right. I've noticed, and especially in the past couple months with females, I've talked to a lot of females about them liking guys and then not liking them anymore and resenting them for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I don't get why that happens, because I can't think of a time that I have liked someone, like really liked them, and then not liked them, and then resented them. Now, on a real note, I've had sex with someone and then resented them, but that's because I hate myself, which we'll get into later, okay? So I've had sex with them and been like, I don't really like you anymore, please go away. But I know I've talked to a few people who feel that way too, and that's probably why you shouldn't have sex with someone you don't care about. But anyway, I saw resentment in her eyes, and that hurt a lot, because it was like I poured a lot into you. I cared a lot about you a lot, and I have never actually hated you or resented you. I was mad at you, but I never actually resented you, and it felt very much like wow, she resents me for no reason. Does that make sense? Like, that sucks. I was hoping we could be friends at least. Does that make sense? And it's stupid to say this. I know it's stupid, and I knew it wasn't going to happen because the rational part, cancels out the irrational part in your brain. But for those of you who know, who do feel a lot, you hold on to hope. And I know there are a lot of people who are out there like, yes, I've had people hurt me, and I still hoped we get back together. Yeah, I've hurt people, and I still kind of hoped we got back together. Yes,
yeah, good
we
one.
broke up mutually, and I hoped we got back together. And I know a lot of people who don't feel that way or haven't felt that way are like, Cam, you're such an idiot. Why would you feel that way? Clearly, she doesn't like you. Clearly, you weren't getting back together.
Yeah,
and yes,
clearly y'all broke up.
yeah, clearly. And I know that. And we didn't even break up because we weren't dating, but whatever.
But it's the same type of thing, like, before you even get with someone where you imagine that type of possibility because you are attracted to that person.
That hope is still there. And I still hoped. I was like, I know it's not going to happen, but a hope and a prayer, I was like, God, I miss you. You know what I mean? Like, I thought you got me. And I miss... And now that she is gone and that I don't, like, I've finally really gotten over her, I now miss having someone who understands me. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so that was the pain, probably the most pain I've felt with any girl so far. I'm sure it'll probably get worse as I get older and find more girls that I think understand me. And the loneliness that I feel now will be the next part, which is probably the worst of my pain right now. But before we get on to that, we want to have a quick sponsor. No.
We have a sponsor?
I wish. No, Jarrad, that's my second part of pain. If you want to get on to your, I don't know.
Guys, our sponsor is Biotine.
Biotine mouth wettener.
Guys, just to let you know, right before this podcast, I had terrible cotton mouth. Like, could you imagine listening to this podcast and hear the entire time?
I feel like
Me neither.
They probably did hear that.
I had a nice cold water and a Biotine, so now Cam and I sound crisp and clear.
Crisp and clear.
We sound like we are
crisp
ready
and
to...
Clear.
Okay, my pain. Is that what you're asking?
Dang, you went from suddenly.
Yeah, no, the sponsor has their time already. Whatever.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that was my pain with the girl. If you want to, now you're next. That's like my second level of pain. If you want to go on to yours.
Okay, so I guess you know what? I'll stay on that subject as well. Not necessarily just girls, but with people in general.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like, it's not really pain anymore. Cam, just to let you know, as of recently, I've just like, I feel
cool.
Good.
Yeah, no, that's good,
I just
man.
feel confident in all my decisions and everything's cool now.
That's awesome.
But, so mainly for this podcast, maybe this episode specifically, I'll be talking about, like, myself in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, one problem that I used to have, like, between, like, is somewhere between, like, the ages 14 through 16, maybe even a little bit early 17s. Right now, I'm, like, 4 months away from 18. So this is, like, a little bit of a recent change. But, like, meeting new people was a difficult thing for me, especially meeting girls.
Mm-hmm.
Even now for me, it's, like, pretty hard for me to meet new girls or whatever because I stay at home all the time.
Yeah.
But as of recently, it's felt easier. You know, my job requires me to talk to people and greet people and, you know, meet new people, you know, whatever, communicate in general. Mm-hmm. But, whoa, we stopped. Oh, no, it lagged.
Yeah,
What's wrong?
We're good.
Oh, we're going to time?
Yeah, I'm changing it to time so we
Sorry,
just know how
guys.
long we've been recording. Sorry about that.
Whoa,
Continue.
it's been 34 minutes already?
Yes, it
I thought
has.
it's been like 8 minutes, dude. Like,
Really?
10 minutes ago, I was like, oh yeah, we're at like the 8-minute mark.
No, dude, we've been talking for a while.
Because I was doing the math in my head with the BPM.
Why? Why did you do that to yourself?
Cam.
I'm sitting here talking and you're like,
I know,
okay,
and I'm
add the
thinking
two
like,
and
okay.
divide the 3.
That's exactly what I was doing. But I was trying to maintain like my listening skills with you. But back to meeting people, it's just, it's not really a pain now because I could easily go up to people and not be a nervous wreck or shy or be filled with anxiety anymore. Because that used to be a big problem. Like, even when I was, like, a little wee baba with a soft brain, like, I could just, like, not talk to anybody and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got into my teens, I wasn't talking to people and I wasn't okay. But now, I just talk to anybody and I'm okay. Like, I haven't talked to you in, like, 2 years. And then at the party, we talked, like, for 3 hours, and then now we're on a podcast. So,
yeah.
It's pretty easy for me now. Same thing with, like, some other people that I met or saw at the party from a while
I could
back.
definitely tell. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Jared's definitely more social than he was when I knew him.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a lot better at that because before I used to be terribly quiet. Even in school, I just wouldn't say a word, and people knew me as the quiet, smart kid.
Yeah.
But now I'm the pretty talkative, dumb kid, so,
Just like me.
Yeah. So, I mean, what can you say? You'll, like, for anybody, I'm not going to just subject everybody to the same feelings that I have. But if you feel or you're resonating with what I'm saying, my best advice would be, like, if you're my age, and you don't have a job, get a job because that helps so much with communication. But also, like, just talk to people, even if it's a random person. Like, just start off by saying hi. Even if it takes all the courage in your body and all your energy, at least just wave at somebody. And that helps so much because some people, sometimes you don't even have to do the work. Some people initiate the conversation for you.
I'm one of those people that if you talk to me, I mean, I'd have to be like...
Oh my god, I've been messing with this Velcro strip and people are going to hear it in the background.
that's fine. Probably, maybe. I've been moving around for sure.
Guys,
I'm definitely... I'm one of those people that will talk back. I mean, you have to be interesting, but like if you say something interesting, I'll be like, haha, and then we can talk for hours. I feel like that's how we met, actually. I feel like one of us said hi. I probably introduced myself because that's what I usually do.
You definitely introduced yourself.
And then we sat next to each other in class for a while, and that's how we
ended up
And then at the
lunch table, I was like, dude, this dude's goofy. And then Marlon moved. I could say Marlon. Marlon moved to a different table, and I followed him because that's, like, my brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that stinks. And that was a problem. I was like, because even at that time, like, more and more people started sitting at that lunch table, right?
Yeah.
People that I didn't know, so I couldn't build up the courage to move away from Marlon's little table back to over there because I didn't know anybody.
I get that, yeah. I mean, the best thing I could say, especially like what you said, is talking to people, especially when it comes to girls. Like when I was younger, and I know friends who do that now, is like if you're kind of shy of the other sex, and this applies to girls and guys, just talk to them, especially if you think someone's cute, even if you're like, if you think like all the thoughts like, oh, I have no chance of getting with them, oh, like there's no way they'll talk back to me, I'll just embarrass myself or they'll reject me. That's cool. Don't be afraid or have that feeling, but do it anyway. You know what I mean?
The worst thing that they could say if like you initiate something is no. And then you'll just go back to the state you were in before.
Exactly.
That's
or most people do passive aggressively. They'll just be like, haha, okay, like, they just won't talk to you.
And then they'll just like, walk away or whatever.
Yeah.
And still even then, like, even though that's like a slap to the face, you're still at like, you did better than what you would do than not going.
Exactly.
And
that builds confidence so much.
Exactly.
Like you don't know how many girls I've asked out knowing I would get rejected just so I could say, okay, I know I can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go talk to this cute, probably 20-year-old as a teen, but I'm like, I'm gonna do it anyway, just so I can say that I have, so that when an actual cute girl I think I have a chance with comes around, I'm not like, hey, I'm Cam. You know what I mean? And I'm super worried or anything. I've done that a bunch of times. That's for sure the easiest way to get confidence is to just talk to people.
Yeah.
Well, social, like communicative confidence, definitely. Can't say like, I mean, how you think you're gonna do on tests or anything like that. That's a different conversation. But I do understand that pain, and that's hard.
I mean, yeah.
That's hard
once you get over, like, I wouldn't say I'm fully over it. I am for the most part over it though, because I can talk to most people. Not necessarily always initiate it, especially depending on the type of person. But like, if someone comes up to me and talks to me first, it's easy from then on. Or even if I see someone of interest and I do talk to them, that's easy too. But sometimes it's a little difficult. But once you get over those obstacles, it's good. You get better.
Yeah, it is easy. It's
terribly
fun too to watch yourself, like
to
go from I can't talk to her, and then like a couple months later after you've talked to a few girls, someone being like, oh, dude, go talk to her. And you're like, okay. You know what I mean? They're like, what? No way. Like, no balls. And you do it. And they're like, what? And you're like, yeah, it's
What?
not that
No
hard.
way.
It's not that bad. I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah. What can I say, Cam? First, I was a shy little incel, and now I'm sponsored by Biotine. So.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah,
we
guys.
made it.
Dude, we made it.
I guess so. Back to me.
Back to Cameron.
I don't know how do you segue? I don't know.
Dude,
So, I mean, especially in this specific situation, it doesn't matter,
okay.
really.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm gonna go into my next thing of pain, the biggest thing right now.
Okay, well, we'll get better at that. We don't necessarily have to say, like, oh, here's my next level of pain. We could just say, like, oh, yeah, well, I do.
Yeah, I guess.
You can just, transition into it, Neither of us are gonna, huss and fuss about it or anything.
Yeah, I know. I worry. I'm not someone who worries about what people think, but I also kind of worry about what people think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone thinks negatively of me, it has to be for the right reason that I won't care. If they're just like, oh, he's weird, I don't care. But if you're like, oh, you're self-centered, that bothers me because that's a character flaw.
Yeah.
And I have a pride problem, which is a different pain. It's a defense mechanism, but that's not what I'm trying to talk about right now. So the biggest thing that I'm having trouble with right now does have to do with girls, actually. It has to do with girls and loneliness. So I am a very straightforward person. Does it make sense? I don't like to beat around the bush. I don't like to pretend or be fake or anything like that. Like, if I feel a certain type of way and you ask me, I'm going to tell you that's how it is. I used to be, brutally honest to the point of hurting people on purpose.
And
that's not cool. I've since moved from that, but I still am honest. Like, I'm still going to tell you how it is. I've had friends be like, oh my gosh, like, am I a bad person? And me be like, yeah, to your face, you are not a good person. We're still friends. I think you're funny. That's why we hang out.
Dude.
But no, like, if someone was like, hey, can you do this? I would not recommend you because you're not good at this. That's just what it is. And a lot of my friends are the same way towards me. Excuse me, because that's the type of energy that I put out. So the problem with girls right now is, no, I'll preference more things. I'm also a very sexual person. That's just cool. What it is. I'm a very sexual person. I told you I'm romantic and sexual. A lot of people don't believe you can be both, but guess what? You can be both. I'm one of them. Nice to meet you.
They actually go hand in hand.
I know, it's kind of crazy, right? Because a lot of people have experienced, a lot of people think that, like, most guys are like, oh, guys just want one thing. You know what I mean? They want sex. That's not always true. I know a lot of guys who don't have sex. I have one friend in particular that he's so good looking. And every time a hot girl comes up, he's like, I can smash, but I'm not going to. And I'm like, why? He's like, honor, dude. It's not right. And I'm like, you know what? I disagree, but you do you.
Well, yeah, that's how I've been before. It's like, not necessarily like girls are coming up to me and, showing signs or anything, but it's not like that's my end goal or anything.
Exactly. And the thing about me is I'm straightforward. So if I want to date you, that'll be straightforward. I'll be like, hey, I think you're really cute. Can I take you out? That's what it is. I don't think that's not weird to me. Like, most girls would be like, oh, that's cute. I wish guys would say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also someone who, if I only want to have sex, I'm going to say that. Does that make sense? I'm just going to be like, hey, I think you're cute. Like, want to hook up sometime? Like, what are you doing this weekend? And if it's a no, cool. Here's the problem, though. I've actually forgotten the problem.
Hey, you're cute. Let's bang.
No. See, I feel like that's what it comes out. I've had girls be like, you're kind of creepy. And I'm like, yo, here's the thing. I know guys who, instead of being honest and just saying what they want, they go, oh, girl, you're so pretty. You're so this and that. Let me take you out. They date, quote unquote, for a week or two. And then, they make her feel so special that she's like, oh, he'll be different. But they have sex, and then they're like, nah, I don't really like you. Then they show the videos, they talk the talk, and they hurt her. Yeah. I think that's so much more messed up, or lying, or cheating, or cheating people who cheat. I have a lot of friends who cheat, but I don't care. I don't think it's right, but there are people who cheat, they do this and that, and I'm like, I don't want to be that person. To me, that is morally wrong. What's not wrong is saying, hey, I think you're cute, let's hook up. That's straightforward to the point, and there's no way that someone could get confused in that situation. Does that make sense?
Yes. I have some advice, Cam. If a girl ever says, like, let's say you go up to them and you say that, they call you creep, all you have to do is wink. Put your thumb up and say, is that a no? Gets them every time.
Is that a no?
And it works.
Oh,
like,
God.
okay, next Friday.
Yeah. All right, cool, next Friday. See you there. No, but it's hard. And, well, I mean, it's deeper than this, but I'll keep going. And it seems messed up to me. Like, a lot of you who watch the show Euphoria, because I know it's pretty big. There's a character called Cassie. She in the show is known as, like, the girl who falls in love with every guy falls in love with every guy she's like with and also has sex with every guy she's with, and they all like video and record and they share that stuff. So she's known as a hoe. She is. That's what it is. She's known as a hoe. And
straightforward.
Yeah, that's what it is. People are like, "Oh, Cassie, you're a hoe. She's this and that or whatever." I feel, and there's an episode where she gets in a fight with her boyfriend and she meets some other guy named like Daniel or something. And Daniel for like a couple episodes is like a really nice guy. And I'm like, oh, good for Cassie. She found like a guy who's like, into sexuality, but that's not all he's focused on. He actually cares about her. They go to a party. Spoiler alert. Sorry. They go to a party. In the party, he's like, hey, can you can you do a little of this and that? She's like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And he's like, he freaks out. He's like, oh, I've been trying for like 2 weeks to get you to do this and that. Like, nobody will care about you. You know what I mean? That's all I really cared about. That is, and she cried, of course. Like, I felt so bad because I'm like, that's so wrong because I know girls who guys have done that to, and I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to make you feel special for 2 weeks so that you give it up. I don't like that. I don't like that give it up like dynamic that we have in our society. Like, oh, a guy has to fight, a guy has to prove himself. I kind of get it, but I get like for girls, like empowerment, like you can't give it to everyone. I get that you don't want to do that with everyone, but it's also like I'm not gonna fight. You know what I mean? To prove that I'm better than or that I'm this and that. It's like, to me, if a girl came up to, and girls have done this before, and we did. I've had a few girls do that. Be like, hey, Cam, I think you're cute, and I feel like you're pretty straightforward. Do you want to have sex? And I'm like, sure. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like, that's the best way to come at me. I don't want you to pretend like, oh, I thought maybe if we went on a date, then we would. No, just tell me how it is. And that's how I like to do it. And a lot of people don't get that. And it's very frustrating because they see it as like, oh, you think I'm that type of way. You think I'm that type of girl. And I'm like, no, I don't think you're a type of anything. I think you're cute. And all I want to do is be physical. Does that make sense? That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And if it's a no, then cool, it's a no. Just how if I asked you out and it's a no, then cool, it's a no. I'm not going to cry. It doesn't mean I'm creepy. Does that make sense? Because creepy to me is like, to do what Daniel did in the show, to pretend and then to come out as this worse person, that's creepy to me. That's messed up to me. I don't like that at all.
That's actually what. That's creepy.
I don't like that. That's super messed up. I'd much rather be like, hey, I think you're cute. Do you want to hook up? And that's it. And if it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, I'm not interested, then cool, that's what it is.
Right.
So the thing about that, the thing that brings pain is that I cannot, for the life of me right now, and I'm in high school and I'll grow and meet new people, I can't find anyone that gives me that same understanding feeling. I can't find any girl that I like enough that I'm like, I have to date you, I have to do this. And I've met some girls where I'm like, I could see us kind of being together, I'll ask you out, but I never end up taking them out because I'm like, or I never ended up taking them out because I'm like, yeah, we're good friends, like maybe we could be a thing, and that's about it. Ever since the last girl, I can't find anyone that I feel like understands me the way I want to be understood, that feels like wants me, like I want to be wanted, you know what I mean? And I've had girls reject me to the sexual part, which is cool again, and no is fine, but I've had girls also be like, okay, so I have a friend, I'm trying to give the example of like what really hurt me recently, is like I have a friend who broke up with somebody, and before they got, I'm looking at the mic, sorry. I had a friend who recently broke up with someone, and before they even got together, we talked about it. I was like, hey, would you be interested in, like, hooking up? Like, just making out. That's it. Because I knew she wasn't, like, super sexual person. She was like, honestly, yeah, I would. They got together, so it never happened. I gave it some time. They broke up, and I'm like, hey, would you still be interested? She's like, maybe. And I'm like, finally, someone who gets it. And she's like, yeah, I don't get why girls freak out. I'm horny just like everyone else. You know what I mean? We're good friends. Like, that's all it is. I'm like, cool, finally. I hit her up a couple days later. She's like, I don't really know. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that, I know that I don't really know, or maybe next time, or this, that, and the other. From a girl, just means no. That's just what it means, and that's cool. But we're still friends. So what happens? She puts something on her story like, I'm having an awful time. So I hit her up, and I'm like, hey, what's wrong? She's like, I'm just having a bad time. I'm like, not doing anything. So I'm like, cool, you want to get together and talk about it? She's like, no, I don't want to hook up with you. This is what made me mad. I'm like, yo, that pissed me off so bad because I'm texting her this. I'm like, yo, this pissed me off so bad because I'm just trying to be there for you. You know what I mean? And you've already said that you did not want me. That's cool. Like, even though you didn't say that, you saying no means I'm not good enough for what, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And that's cool. I'm not necessarily hurt by that. It's the fact that you felt the need to repeat it. Does that make sense? That makes me feel even extra unwanted when I already don't feel wanted by girls. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, well, not only that, but she also just assumed that you were trying to hook
Exactly.
up.
And
maybe you were just trying to talk.
I
but
no,
she
there
just,
was no maybe. I was
immediately
just trying
jumped
to talk.
hooking up.
Exactly. Once you've already said no, every time I interact with you, it's not always gonna be that. Does that make sense? And it sucks because of the Daniels in the world who pretend and stuff like that. That's what a lot of girls assume I'm trying to do. And I've always been like, no, if I wanted to do that, I would have just said so. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ever pretend to care about your feelings if I don't care about your feelings. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that hurt really bad. And she's like, I'm sorry. Like, the last couple times we talked, it was about that. And I'm like, I get that. You know, I didn't mean to freak out or whatever. It's just like, I'm just trying to be a good friend because that's what we were before. And she's like, okay, cool. I haven't talked to her since. I haven't talked to her since. I don't know how she's doing.
Cool. She didn't want to hook up, so I left her.
I mean, not really, but we don't have any classes together.
I
And
know.
clearly she's like, you know what I mean, doesn't seem to actually want to talk and be friends. So I'm like, cool, whatever. And so that's that combination of being lonely and not having someone, which I know most teenagers feel, and not feeling wanted when I do get rejected because if I don't have a girlfriend, that's lonely. When I can't find someone to be physically intimate with, too, you know what I mean? That's like almost a little extra lonely, you know what I mean? Because it's like, no one likes me, but no one even wants, you know what I mean? Teenagers are horny, you know what I mean? It's like, you're saying no, but it's not because you don't like sexual things, you know what I mean? It's because you don't want me. Cool, I get that, but it almost adds an extra, layer to that unwanted feeling.
Yeah.
Which is my fault, kind of, because if I stop asking, hey, you want to get together, then I'll stop getting a nose, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'll stop having that feeling. But I'm not going to do that because I'm a sexual person. And one day I know, because it's happened in the past, I've had a few, what they call fuck buddies. One day I'm going to have someone and... look at the mic. Okay, I'm sorry. One day I'm gonna have someone who's like, sure, and it's like, awesome. Finally, we can just be cool, and that's all it is. And I'm glad you understand. And I'm positive it's because I'm in high school, and I'm positive it's because a lot of girls aren't sexually mature in high school, and they think this and that, and there's stereotypes that they don't want to have, and I totally get that. But I just feel really, really lonely, and because of that frustration with the opposite sex, it's resonated in a lot of anger in girls. Does that make sense? It's resonated in a lot of like, I'm lonely and it's not any particular girl's fault that they don't want to go out or they don't want to hook up, but it comes out in a lot of anger. You know what I mean? A lot of times, this is like yesterday. I have a coworker, right? A coworker. We worked over the summer together and we became really good friends. And I'm like, yo, we should just hang out. Like, that's all it was. I was like, we should just hang out. She's like, maybe, I don't know. Is it a date? I'm like, no, it's not a date. I just want to hang out with you. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Now, between you and me, totally would take her on a date. But that's not the point. I was like, she clearly doesn't like me. That's cool. Let's just be friends. So we make plans like Tuesday. I'm like, yo, I want to get some ice cream. You want to go get some ice cream with me on Tuesday? She's like, yeah, I'm free Tuesday. Cool. I hit her up on Tuesday. You know what I mean? And a huge thing is like, she didn't make me a priority. And I know you guys are like, Cam, you guys aren't dating. Why would you be a priority? It's more like, if you want someone to be in your life, they'll be in your life. That's something I definitely stand by. So it's like, I want to be friends. She said she wanted to be friends, that we were friends. I'm like, cool, let's go hang out, talk about like the week. Let's go just get ice cream and, just talk. You know what I mean? I would do that with you. I would do that with anybody if they invited me. And she's like, crap. I'm actually, I'm hanging out with my mom. And I'm like, okay, cool. I get that. Like, I hang out with my mom. I'm like, how about later? She's like, sure. Never text me again. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that's like...
Clearly, you either didn't actually want to, so you wasted my time, hate having my time wasted, and you lied. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or I was not a big enough priority in your life. Not the first priority. You know what I mean? I had priorities. I mixed up plans. I had things I needed to do. I was only going to give her an hour. But I'm clearly not even big enough for you to have remembered these plans. Does that make sense?
Or she just wanted to hang out with her mom.
Okay. Fair, right?
Yes.
That's cool.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
She's beating around the bush and she's flaking.
Exactly. My dad... very sick. We'll get it. I forgot about my dad. I don't want to talk about my dad, only because that's going to give another hour. He's very he's very sick.
Save that for next episode.
Yeah, he's very sick. I don't know if we should have a guest, but whatever. He's very sick.
We're gonna have a guest next episode.
I hope so. Yeah,
dude, that's awesome.
I know, right?
I got me.
You're already on the podcast. My dad's super sick. He was in the hospital recently. And he was in the hospital when I made these plans because I'm used to him being in the hospital. I knew he was going to be home in a couple days. But anyway, the point is, I'm like, I could have gone to see my dad. You know what I mean? I could have did homework. I had things I could have done that I moved. You know what I mean? I didn't not do them. I moved around so that I could make you a priority.
Right.
And you couldn't do the same for me. That's hurtful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not saying that you owe me that or anything like that. But you get how that can hurt after it happening a few times in a row. Does that make sense? And so that resulted in a lot of anger. And it put me in a really bad mood because I'm like, yo, I'm so lonely. And it makes me, and I know saying it, a lot of people will be like, yo, this man's super desperate, creepy, weird person. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to think, and that's whatever. But those thoughts already go through my head. Does that make sense? Those thoughts already are like, oh, Cam, you're just some desperate guy who can't even hang out with girls that are your friends. You know what I mean? You can't get anyone to like you. Those thoughts are already going through my head, so it feels very demasculating. Is that a word? Emasculating? Emasculating. There it is. Emasculating. It feels very emasculating to be like, hey, you want to hang out, girl? And she's like, maybe. And I'm like, oh, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels very emasculating to feel that way and to have those thoughts. So it's already really hard. So these past couple of months have been very hard because I've been very angry at women because I'm like, yo, the girls at school, there's some cute, but they don't want to go out with me because I don't play sports. I like to write and play video games and make films, which I think is cool. Okay, that's awesome. Cool. I used to play sports. Exactly. I used to do boxing and tennis and wrestling and stuff, and I found that wasn't for me. The girls like, hey, you play sports? And I'm like, no. They're like, nope. And I'm like, okay, cool. Go date that 7'5", 250-pound pure muscle Chad who's going to cheat on you because every other girl is trying to get with Chad, and Chad's a whore, so Chad's gonna cheat on you, and you're gonna be like, oh no, why did all guys cheat? And I'm like, no, all guys don't cheat. The guys you pick would cheat. I'm not a guy who cheats. Please give me a chance. You know what I mean?
And then,
you know what I mean?
She tops it off with, well, do you play sports?
Exactly. She's like, oh.
It's a loop.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I get that, man. Well, yeah, we can give it a try. What sports do you play? I'm like, I like film. She's like, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's very frustrating because it's coming out in that way. So that's the majority of the pain. And I know a lot of you are going to think like, oh, Cam, you're just being a bitch. Like, you're... I get that too.
Get
but
off your high horse.
Remember, but I just want you guys to remember that my broken arm might be your stub toe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's cool, but I have a broken arm. You might not have a broken arm. I have a broken arm right now.
Well, yeah.
And that yesterday was like one of the worst places I've ever been in. I went to the gym. I just couldn't get into it. At like 9 o'clock, I came home and I just sat on my bed for like 5 hours.
Cam, you can't go to the gym if you have a broken arm. So.
Shut up, Jared. It just sucked, man. I was so angry and sad and lonely, and it sucked so bad because I felt alone. And I was like, yeah, my friends would be there for me, but you're not going to give me that understanding feeling. You're not going to give me that intimacy that you can only get with someone that you like.
You're just going to see the foot of the sculpture.
That's all you're going to see. And I'm going to try to like push your head to the other parts of the sculpture, and you'll be like, oh, he's sad, but that's all you see. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's besides the dad, which is a whole other conversation. That's the majority of the pain that I'm going through right now. And so I just felt like pretentious enough to come on a podcast and make you listen to it for an hour. So, yeah.
Nice. We wanted to be pretentious hipsters who are emo. So, cool.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing I'm going through. I guess if you have anything else, what's like the biggest thing that you're going through when it comes to pain?
Well, no, it's been about an hour now, so I'm going to just top it off with, I think we're still trying to figure out the whole structure of this podcast still. So it's like, right now we may have gone like taking turns doing the pain thing, but soon enough, once we get the hang of it, we'll go back and forth about like similarities and differences in that and whatnot.
We'll talk about it. We'll have guests. I have a lot of guests. I'm going to give you a warning now. Hopefully you listen to the rest of the episodes. There are going to be brutal rape stories. I would describe them as
real.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I've heard. So I'm very opening. I'm a very open person. People feel very vulnerable around me, so they do. I can get people to open up. So I do know a lot of friends who have opened up, and I've talked to them about it and said, hey, you want to come on? And they were like, okay, do I have to use my name? And I'm like, no, you don't have to, but I'd love for you to share your stories. So there are going to be stories about rape, story about abuse, story about...
Anonymous ones, yeah.
Yeah, no, they might say their name and they might not, I don't know. But there will be stories about homelessness and depression and anxiety. I have friends who were like bipolar. Like, it's going to be a lot. So I want to say that if you are experiencing that... Excuse me, I keep burping. If you are experiencing that, I encourage you to keep listening because I want you to know that you're not the only one out there. And I also want to give you the proper resources. So for like the rape episodes, I'll give you instructions on what to do if that does happen, or once that has happened, websites, call centers for suicide prevention, all that type of jazz. So yeah, I guess That's probably it.
Yeah, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Just wanted to let you know that next episode we're gonna have a Biotin ambassador come in and
To
join
talk
us.
about his mouth pain.
Yeah, he has like serious bad cotton mouth, and that's like physical pain. So I mean, I guess that'll be the next episode for the podcast.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
All right.
But no, in all seriousness, thank you guys so much for listening. Jared, do you want to give out your
Yeah, we can plug
information?
our
Yeah, let's
stuff.
plug
Okay, yeah.
on our
You
own
can find
podcast.
me on Instagram, Twitter. Instagram and Twitter at jarradsabin. I'll spell it out.
I was like, I just wanna say-
guys, pull out your phones. I'm about to spell out my name. JARRADSABIN. But if you're too lazy to do that, and probably me being stupid to spell it out, you could just look in the description and find the
could just
link for it.
Yeah, we'll put all the
Yeah.
stuff in the description. But I like saying it anyway because I don't know, it makes me feel good. You can also follow me on Instagram. Please go follow me on Instagram because I crave fame. It's _ the cambam _ I'm not gonna spell it out because if you can't spell that,
Then you're just
Stop
stupid.
listening, yeah,
Of
stop.
course,
I don't care.
mine is spelled stupid, like some like Egyptian manuscript. So
kind
you
of.
know,
And then so that's the Instagram, and then my YouTube is just cambam. I am gonna start posting these on YouTube, and then I have another short film coming out. I have a bunch of little stupid stuff that people say are funny. So if you
are
want
you
to go,
posting this on your channel?
yeah,
Whoa,
I know, cool,
dude,
right?
you already have a following. On
I know. I have like 1,000 followers. Like it's not a big deal, but I'm basically like
famous.
yeah,
so,
pretty much
you
when
know.
you think about it. So make sure you go follow us. Make sure to I don't know where I'm rate. I don't know where I'm putting this. So rate it.
Okay, so no,
please.
you can just like share it with
Sharing it would be
other
awesome.
people. You know, show your support
You
by
laughed,
reposting.
cried, thought this was stupid. Hey, if you want to go hate on it, we'll take that because then someone else will see it and they'll listen, which will get our
Yes,
ratings up.
guys, please put a bunch of hate in the comments so that way we can get famous.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly though, if it helps and we want to continue, go share. Please listen to the next episodes as they will be a little bit more deeper than this one. This one was kind of deep, but there will be some serious stuff. So I guess thank you guys for listening to the episode. Fuck. Thank you guys so
Yes,
much for
thank you.
listening to the first episode of It's Mostly Pain. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Yes, peace out.